well. We'll zoom in a little bit closer here. Bloomdale, Van Buren, Arcadia, as well as Hoytville, Butler's Mill, Signet, Ducat, 6 Points, Rising Sun, Bradner. You are all within this tornado warning, so now is the time to get to your safe space. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm that has been tornado warned by the National Weather Service. That tornado warning goes for another through 3:45, so for another 36 minutes as this storm continues tracking east-southeast. Now, I want to flip over here to our system, the way that we can sort of check where the rotation is within the storm, our velocity. So now the green means we have the winds going towards the radar site. Red means we have winds going away. So we look for where they're sort of next to each other. And we zoom in a little bit closely here. I'll bet what they warned it for is that area of rotation. This is a few minutes ago at 3 o'clock. That's just south and west of Bowling Green. Now, meteorologist Aaron Ashley and myself were live at our Action News desk. We were watching this very closely, talking about this area of concern and a possible second area of rotation back along the Henry-Wood County line there about 10 minutes ago. Now, I will say, as we fast forward the clock, these areas of rotation have perhaps weakened a little bit, but right along the leading edge of this storm, it is the right ingredients to sort of get a little bit of spin going in the sky, just right along the leading edge of this thunderstorm. It's sort of embedded rotation. So again, this is a tornado warning for the northern part of Hancock County, southern part of Wood County, in case you're just joining us, just sort of showing you where things are right now.
And Derek, we are live on Facebook. We are live on our digital streams. We are live on Weather Nation. We are live wherever you guys can find 13 Action News. You can take us with you on your phones. We encourage you to do so,
yes,
especially if you are in that red box there. Southern Wood County, northern Hancock County, that tornado warning in effect from now until 3:45.
Yes, and as this continues to track east-southeast, we're going to have to watch further down the line. These storms don't show much sign of weakening. So if you're watching maybe from downstream a little bit in Findlay there, Tiffin, Big Springs, getting down towards Wyandotte County, even further east into parts of Huron County. This isn't in your woods, neck of the woods yet, but it is heading your direction. And these storms, even if they don't necessarily produce a tornado, could really pack a punch with damaging wind gusts potentially up to 60 miles per hour. And the potential is there for quarter-size hail. And there's torrential rain occurring where these storms are tracking through. I'll flip back over to radar now. You can see as these come moving in east-southeast at 30 miles per hour, a ton of lightning. And as we've seen that lightning increase, we've seen how much lightning there is within each 15-minute time frame, another sign that these storms are strengthening. Now, I'm turning the lightning off just to sort of give us a better idea of really how these storms are moving. You sort of get covered up by the lightning just because there's so much of it there. But again, we're going to pause the frame here and sort of shift things back over to show you the warnings. We're going to overlay them within the storm itself here. So again, you're just joining us. This is a tornado warning. This is for the northern part of Hancock County, the southern part of Wood County, and you need to be to your safe place right now. So if you're in North Baltimore, Arcadia, Van Buren, those are some of the communities right now in the path of this storm that is tornado warned. Now, it does not include Bowling Green, it does not include Findlay, but you are just outside of it, and some torrential rainfall occurring with these storms. And Aaron, we always talk about with these storms, we're watching, for sort of a notch in the line, and I'd say just near North Baltimore, that's sort of a concerning notch. We're going to have to watch as well, possible area of rotation, and another one here as well.
A hook, if you will, the notch, a hook. We're watching for both of those very carefully. That's, I mean, from those at the National Weather Service, this is what they're seeing as too, is the concern for some rotation there. You see it in the velocity returns. That's what you're looking at here on your screen. The tighter and brighter colors, that is what prompted them to have that that tornado warning. That's just north of North Baltimore, but nevertheless, North Baltimore, you guys are in that tornado warning, until 3:45. If you are in Arcadia, you are part of that tornado warning. You are in the line of that tornado warned cell.
Yeah, let's go ahead and put a track on this as it's continuing to move east-southeast. Aaron, I believe 30 miles per hour is the storm motion we are looking at with this tornado warned storm. So I'm going to draw this track here. This would be for the most intense part of the storm. Along the leading edge of it. We're going to draw it all the way back in Henry County and even Defiance County. I know it's just severe thunderstorm warnings out that direction, but even if you're not in the tornado warning, there still could be some winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. So this is a big concern for a lot of people here over the next hour or so. So 30 miles per hour, that is the storm motion. North Baltimore, 3:15. And again, you are in the tornado warning, so please go to your safe space right now. Think about going into your basement. Below ground is best, but if you don't, an interior room, a closet, a bathroom, something that doesn't have windows, so put as many walls between you and the outside of your structure that you're in as possible. Of course, mobile home's not a safe place to be. You want a structure with a foundation, something reinforced. That is the place to be as these storms continue to track east-southeast. But Fostoria getting towards 335. You're right on the edge of the tornado warning there. Loudon at 3:45, Tiffin at 3:55, Findlay at 4 o'clock. So in about 30 minutes here, 45 minutes getting towards Tiffin, Findlay, some of the bigger communities there in Hancock and Seneca counties, just south of Bowling Green. Bowling Green, you're seeing some heavy rain, hearing some loud thunder right now, but you are not in the tornado warning. That is just south of town, just south of US 6. As it's continuing to head to the southeast, Aaron.
And we continue to watch not just that tornado warning, but also, Derek, those severe thunderstorm warnings. And in case anything kind of pops up, that's why I have my phone with me to give you that first alert every step of the way. But we are watching, of course, that tornado warning, but we're watching pockets of rotation even out west. If you could pull up velocity real quick, Derek, to give our viewers an idea of what we're watching. So yes, we're watching this area of, I'd argue to say it's a little bit less tighter and brighter from these latest returns, but additionally, those out west in southern Henry County cannot rule out just the spin up as well. That's where we're seeing severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Again, that's tornado warning is in effect for this pocket of rotation. It is crossing over I-75 in southern Wood County. Here's the recent information coming in. So yeah, definitely rotation north of North Baltimore. That's going to be impacting areas. Again, this is kind of south of Bowling Green. Nevertheless, you guys are getting your own severe thunderstorm just north of this tornado warning, but this includes parts of North Baltimore, includes parts of West Millgrove. And this is kind of heading a little bit, kind of splitting Findlay and Tiffin. If that's the way people want to describe it, that's kind of the direction it's heading.
So yeah, that area of rotation, we'll have to watch where that exact one goes, but as these storms continue to track east-southeast, I wouldn't be surprised if we see additional areas of rotation sort of redevelop, just depending on exactly the track these storms take. Right now, there is a lot of shear, a lot of twisting in the atmosphere as these storms continue to track to the east-southeast, and the reason for that is that east wind. You've often heard Chief Meteorologist Jay Burschbach say, hey, never trust an east wind, because when it comes in, you have the winds up high coming in from the west. That creates some spin as you go higher up in the sky, and that can help develop these areas of rotation, and that is why we have seen this tornado warning get issued for southern Wood County, the northern part of Hancock County. So this does not include Bowling Green, it does not include Findlay, but just look at this line of storms as it stretches all the way from really the western part of Sandusky County, through Wood County, back across Henry County, into Defiance County. Along that whole path could be some torrential rainfall, frequent lightning, loud thunder. We're seeing a lot of positive lightning strikes, so some big booms as this continues to track to the east-southeast. We've also seen returns of hail, possibly up to 1 inch in diameter, and the potential for along the leading edge of these storms, a quick spin-up tornado. That's why they've issued the tornado warning that is in effect through 345, through the southern part of Wood County and the northern part of Hancock County. But Aaron, if you can move the map just a little bit to the southeast, I want to show everybody sort of who's coming down the pipe next. So Fremont, you're going to definitely see some heavy rainfall within the next few minutes if you aren't already. Those winds with the storms developing right overhead could be gusting 40, maybe 50 miles an hour. But Tiffin, Findlay, I'd be getting ready now. Sort of have your safe space ready to go just in case, as these storms track in, they do become strong in case this tornado warning is extended. So again, parts of Seneca, Hancock County, and Putnam County as well. I don't want to forget about you guys out that direction. These are some strong storms as they're diving southeast. They have a ton of energy to tap into right now, and there's a lot of moisture in the air. So the rainfall going to be torrential. We've seen rainfall rates with these storms 2, 3, even 4 inches an hour. Can lead to potting the water on roadways, as well as localized flooding as these continue to track east-southeast. So out that direction, Putnam County, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. I don't want to forget about that. Parts of Defiance, southern Henry County, as well as down into parts of Putnam County, the northern part of the county there. Those are for winds gusting to 60 miles per hour, hail up to 1 inch in diameter. But our main concern right now continues to be this tornado warning. Southern half of Wood County, almost just south of US 6, all the way down into the northern part of Hancock County. Again, includes Fostoria, North Baltimore, Arcadia, Van Buren, some of the communities that direction, right along 75 here. Please be in your safe space and stay there until this warning expires. 345 is when it's set to expire. We'll have to see if they can extend it eastward, depending if those areas of rotation hold. But if you want to go to your safe space, maybe you're watching us on your TV, you can take us on your phone. We're also streaming on Facebook right now. So you have different ways, sort of while you're in your safe space, to just watch us so you can continue to make sure you're staying safe. Now, Aaron, if you could sort of pause the movement of the radar here, I want to point out a couple different features for everyone. We're watching very closely right along the line for these little notches. That can indicate the potential for a little bit of rotation right along the leading edge of these storms. And with this kind of rainfall, this is not the kind of storm I'd recommend you go out and try to see, hey, can I see a tornado? I'll be honest, frankly, I don't ever recommend that, but this is especially a situation I wouldn't do it because there could be sort of rain-wrapped rotation. You don't see the tornado until it's maybe right on top of you. So now's the time, your basement, interior room, closet, bathroom, just something to put as many walls, as much between you and the outside of the building as possible as this tornado-warned storm continues tracking through the southern part of Wood County and the northern part of Hancock County, Aaron.
It's got some really decent hail cores with it too, Derek. I mean, that tornado warning is why we're here. That's our focus, of course, but we do not need, or we should not ignore the severe situation that's going to be happening just to our neighbors of out west in Henry and Putnam counties. Again, that severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 3:45, the same time that this tornado warning is going to be expiring for Hancock and Wood counties. Haven't seen anything or any chatter about expanding this tornado warning, of course, but there is just enough energy in the atmosphere to sustain these guys. We have not seen signs of weakening with this. We'll pull up. Yeah, the velocity is looking increasingly concerning, I'd argue there.
Yeah, I'm gonna show everybody here. That's definitely some redevelopment. When they first issued, Aaron, if you could sort of back the clock up towards just around 3 o'clock and then walk it forward for us to sort of show everybody. If you could zoom out maybe just a little bit more, sort of show that area of rotation that I believe prompted the National Weather Service to issue this warning. So that was that area of rotation as it was just west of 75 there. This was just about 3 o'clock. So they were likely just getting ready to issue the warning at that time. As it came across 75, it looks like it did weaken. But now, as we're getting closer to 3:20 here and just past, maybe trying to re-intensify right along the leading edge. So again, if you're watching, this is the green means winds going towards the radar. And this is the Cleveland radar. So you think going towards the radar, red would mean going away. So that's your spin right there. That's your couplet. And we watch for where these two colors are sort of right next to each other, and that indicates where we could see that area of rotation that's maybe, just maybe, promoting a tornado. So this is radar-indicated rotation. We don't have any confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground, but now is the time to get to your safe space because this is a tornado warning. And Aaron, it says 30 miles per hour for that storm motion. I wouldn't be surprised if it's starting to move a little bit faster now. Just visually, it does appear like it may be sort of racing east-southeast. So the warning goes till 3:45, and the area of rotation that we're seeing is sort of right here in the southeastern corner of Wood County. It's going to be tracking into the northeastern part of Hancock County and eventually western Seneca County. So Findlay, even though that area of rotation is to your northeast, got a lot more storms back to the west that we're going to have to continue to keep an eye on. So we'll have to see if any of those can develop. Additional areas of rotation in Tiffin, you need to be ready to go as well. Severe thunderstorm warning, it looks like it was just issued.
It was, yeah. That's why I pulled this up, is to let you guys know that the severe thunderstorm warning, it's new, it has just been issued, and it does include Sandusky and Seneca counties now as well. In their entirety. This is not just kind of specific to one area.
Look at so the wind profile that they're identifying with the severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to stop the radar loop here. And this is a sign that this storm is becoming a more robust sort of straight line wind event. This new severe thunderstorm warning that was issued for parts of Hancock County as well as Seneca and Sandusky counties for winds gusting to 70 miles an hour. So severe thunderstorm wind criteria is 58 miles an hour. They're usually starting issuing at 60, but now along this main line of storms, they're talking about the potential for 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and that is definitely an increased possibility of causing damage. So you need to take this seriously. Even if there's no tornadoes, it could be a really powerful straight-line wind event, sort of diving east-southeast now from parts of Wood and Hancock County into Sandusky and Seneca County. So let's put a track on this because definitely a wind threat. I know we're on for the tornado warning, but even if there's not a tornado, still straight-line winds are pretty potent. And it is moving east at 40 miles per hour. We were just talking about that a minute or two ago, how it is accelerating. And as it accelerates, that enhances the wind threat. So this is all a very logical progression of the storm. So again, east-southeast, now 40 miles per hour. Bettsville at 3:31 p.m., Fostoria at 3:34, so just about 10 minutes. Colby in about 15 minutes at 3:40, Tiffin 3:53, Monroeville at 3:59, Bronson at 4:11, and Venice there at 4:17 p.m. And real quick, Aaron, I'm actually going to zoom back out and just do an even bigger sort of track because this is a rapidly developing line of storms. I'm going to turn off the lightning here, and it stretches all the way from about Fremont back to Defiance. And this line of storms is really going to rapidly drop to the east-southeast as it's starting to speed up, enhancing the wind threat. Of course, the tornado warning continues for southern Wood County and the northern part of Hancock County. So 40 miles per hour, it's moving east-southeast. Let's get those big communities. Clyde at 328, Fostoria at 332, Findlay at 349, Tiffin at 349, Willard at 413, Cary at 415, and eventually Crawford down in Wyandotte County at 4:21 p.m.
That tornado warning is going to be allowing to expire at 3:45 is from what we're seeing, but it's still very much producing tornado warned rotation. That is again going to be moving in to Sandusky and Seneca counties very, very soon. I have a phone to kind of get a better idea of what smaller communities are going to be impacted by this, because yes, it's going to be impacting Clyde, Fostoria within the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. Findlay and Tiffin going to be able to tap into these severe thunderstorms, maybe even see that tornado warning be extended in area, but that's mainly going to be for those south and southern Wood County, northern Hancock County. That red that we're seeing right there, once again, if you're just now tuning in, is an active tornado warning in the area. Radar indicated. We have not had anything confirmed quite yet from that area as far as any touchdowns, but of course, rotation still very alarming. Right now, the pocket of rotation that we're seeing is kind of where I'm circling, the very southeastern point of Wood County. There it is right there. The tighter and brighter colors that we see there kind of fusing together on the latest runs. So
I think that may be a little bit of bad radar data kind of right there. So you see there's a logical progression of the couplet, and then the radar sensors may be kind of struggling to pick up on exactly what's happening. So we'll give that another loop to kind of correct itself. But in terms of placement, geographical placement, it is definitely the southeastern part of Wood County that I'm most concerned about. So if you're along 281, near Rising Sun, Bradner, 6 Points, Longley, Signet, Bloomdale, be in your safe space right now, because any of these communities, that rotation could be nearby. If there is a tornado in the storm, that's where it'd be. So please just stay down until this warning expires.
Absolutely. And that severe thunderstorm warning also, Derek, it does include Seneca and Sandusky counties as well and alike. It includes the entirety of them if we want to go ahead and show the bigger picture once again. Because yes, tornado warning, very much a concern, especially for those in southern Wood County and northern Hancock County, but as this pocket of rotation continues to push out there towards the east, it becomes more of a concern for those in Sandusky and Seneca counties, very much seeing a more of a southeasterly turn to these Hancock, Wood counties. That's going to be for you guys until 3:45. So we still got a little less than 20 minutes until that tornado warning rather, is going to be allowed to expire. But this is new information coming in within the last few minutes or so. And it's going to be that severe thunderstorm warning. Now, look at this. Brand new information coming in, actually. It's going to be for Erie and Huron counties.
Yes, just extended it.
Yeah, those in the National Weather Service out there in Cleveland have opted to include not just the entirety of Seneca and Sandusky counties, but also Erie and Huron counties. Look at this line of thunderstorms moving through. They are all severe thunderstorm warned now. Moving southeast, we have one active tornado warning, but from what we've seen over the last 6 to 8 hours or so, is that it can do it very quickly.
So Aaron, I want to point out here, if you could come back, and I'm going to show everybody on radar here, this new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for Erie and Huron counties, it's actually for this line of storms that may not really look all that intense at a glance, stretching from just northeast of Tiffin up through Sandusky, but is this line right here. Train spotters in Sandusky reported wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. So this may not look that intense, but the winds are howling as this is tracking east-southeast. So that's why they've extended that severe thunderstorm warning now into Erie and Huron counties as this line is continuing to advance. And I wouldn't be surprised where you see the heavier precipitation here and then back into the western part of Sandusky County, if it sort of blends together here, it forms a solid line all the way from Lake Erie down towards Fremont, south of Bowling Green, towards Findlay, and eventually Ottawa as this line races to the southeast. And of course, as the thunderstorms develop a line, it becomes what we call a linear wind threat. So that straight line wind threat going to become enhanced. It may reduce the tornado potential slightly, but along that line, there could be a quick spin up. So Erie County, Huron County, now a little bit faster with the arrival time of those strong winds. They've reported those winds up to 60 miles per hour, and that can cause damage. So Aaron, this severe thunderstorm warning for Erie and Huron County goes until what time? I missed that detail.
No, it's 4:30 for Erie and Huron County. So we're getting an hour from now.
Yeah.
These are not expected to weaken.
Yeah, and these storms, I mean, they're just continuing to intensify. We don't expect these storms to lose any sort of intensity simply because ahead of them there's so much fuel, so much instability for them to tap into, and a lot of moisture as well. So the rain, that's something I want you to think about as well. We're talking about the damaging winds, we're talking about the tornado warning, the potential for hail, but these are very efficient rainmakers. 2, 3, 4 inches an hour kind of rain rates are possible. These come southeastward. So right along the turnpike, 75 there as well. Any of the roadways. That water could quickly fill up in some spots. A little bit dangerous driving conditions, not to mention reducing visibility. Of course, Aaron, I do just want to zoom back in real quick on that tornado warning. That does continue until 3:45 for southern Wood County, northern Hancock County. That does include their North Baltimore, Arcadia, Van Buren, and I believe Fostoria just right on the edge of that warning as well.
Yes.
Loud thunder, and we're watching for those potential areas of rotation. And if you could flip back over the velocities, Aaron, I know we had a little bit of bad data there for a second from the radar site. Perhaps it has corrected itself now as these storms are continuing to track east-southeast at 40 miles per hour. They're really starting to speed up. So this is a pretty robust area of rotation. This is right over West Millgrove, southwest of Bradner. So this is tracking southeast. So this is going to be crossing 23, I'd say within the next 2 to 3 minutes. And then it's going to be crossing into parts of the southwestern corner of Sandusky County, northwestern corner of Seneca County there. So this is the area of rotation we're watching so very closely. It's embedded in the storm. And again, this is radar indicated rotation. We don't have a confirmed report of a touchdown, but if there's a tornado here, it may be rain wrapped. You may not be able to see it. So now is not the time to go out and try to see if you can see it. Now is the time to go in your basement, interior room, closet, bathroom. It's all about putting soil, walls, something between you and the outside to protect you from any flying debris if there is a tornado right here. So again, the southwestern part of Wood County going to be crossing 23, and that rotation is heading into Seneca County. If I were in Tiffin or anywhere really in the western northern part of Seneca County, I'd be getting ready within the next half hour. The possibility of this rotation as it comes in. But keep in mind, this line of storms, as we were talking about, is warned for gusts up to 70 miles an hour. It just not in addition to the threat for that spin-up tornado, it's a straight line wind threat as well. So even if you don't necessarily have a tornado come through, anywhere along this line of storms, you could have winds up to 70 miles per hour, torrential rainfall, hail up to 1 inch. This is a serious weather situation. You just want to be in your safe space if you're in that tornado warning. And if you're really, even in the path of these severe thunderstorms, I'd sort of treat this as if it maybe we're almost a low-grade tornado warning just because how strong these winds are. 70-mile-per-hour winds are nothing to shake a stick at. There's a higher potential to cause damage. So as these continue moving east-southeast at 40 miles per hour, it's really going to pack a punch. Now, I do want to mention, if you're watching in the Toledo area, why you guys live, why you interrupting coverage, there's nothing happening up here in Toledo. Aaron, if you could flip back over to the regular radar, I do just want to show what's going on in the Glass City. We may have just threaded the needle, just sort of missed out on the worst of the weather today, at least for Toledo, but our southern counties now have our attention. Do have a few thunderstorms up in the northern part of Lenawee and Monroe counties, but really not much in the way of fuel for them to tap into. We're not expecting much of severe weather up that direction. And here in Toledo, we'll have to watch off to the west if we can get some additional redevelopment, but these storms to the south may have really sort of zapped the energy out of the atmosphere, sort of taking it with them as they continue roaring southeast. And sure enough, Aaron, as I was just saying, that line now stretching from Lake Erie all the way back into our western counties is really getting its act together.
Absolutely. And I don't know if it's Brian back there in the back, but if we could utilize picture-in-picture throughout the day to the afternoon today, give people an idea of what both of us are doing, that would be wonderful. But right now we're watching this particular pocket of rotation. Thank you so much for doing that for us.
Getting a report from the National Weather Service, and just a few of the reports they've relayed. Wood County Sheriff Office has received reports of some trees down in the western area, or the weston area, excuse me. And they've also, ham radio operator reporting a radio report of some rotation in the Arcadia area. And that would be in the northeastern part of Hancock County there. So right along the leading edge, that's where we're watching for those possible areas of rotation. So just along these storms, they have a history of producing damage. They have a history of producing rotation. So that's why they're warned for severe thunderstorms. And for the next 12 minutes in parts of Wood and Hancock County, they're warned for a possible tornado.
And it could very well be rain wrapped if you're just now tuning in. It's a pretty significant concern. The flooding that we're seeing right now, of course, we have to have a lot of rain that goes with it. So that severe thunderstorm warning for much of our viewing area, producing heavy rain alongside those gusty winds. And so while we are seeing this tornado warn cell right here, seemingly just over West Millgrove, which, by the way, if you're not in your safe space and you are in southeastern Wood County, get in your safe space. You can take us with you. We are live on Facebook, on all of our streaming platforms. You can bring us on your phone. We encourage you to bring us on your phone. Get to your safe space. This is moving a little bit east-southeast. Fostoria, if you are especially in the northern part of Fostoria, take cover now. This is crossing State Route 23 within the next several minutes or so. So really, you don't have any time to waste. We are watching a pretty severe thunderstorm moving through the area as of right now. I'm going to go ahead and bring your attention back to the warnings, because not only are we getting a ton of these warnings too, but this entire potent system now includes severe thunderstorms all the way from southern Lucas County through Cleveland. It is a significant area that we are seeing these severe thunderstorm warnings. It includes lots of population, and if we are watching that tornado warning, while it is just one piece, it is a piece of a bigger puzzle. So not seeing anyone quite in the clear yet, especially if you are south and east of Toledo.
This is sort of the main show today. The best way I can describe this line of thunderstorms. We had that storm this morning track in. We did have a tornado warning earlier today out in Williams County, Hillsdale County. That storm weakened, thankfully, by the time it got to the Maumee River. But this is the main event, so to speak. This is the main line of storms. We've been talking over the last 24 hours. Damaging winds has been the main concern. Sort of a secondary concern being the heavy rainfall and the potential for a tornado. And unfortunately, we've seen all those things manifest so far today. As these storms have been diving southeast. A really robust line now getting going all the way from in Erie County there, around Sandusky, over Fremont, back just south of Bowling Green, just north of Findlay, and back into parts of Putnam County, Henry County, Defiance, and Paulding County. This whole line moving southeast at about 40 miles per hour, and I expect it to not just hold its intensity, but likely continue to intensify, because there is just so much energy for these storms to tap into. Imagine pumping a plane full of fresh jet fuel. That's sort of what's happening as these storms continue to push to the southeast.
Absolutely, and I'm trying to pull up a storm track to give people an idea of where these are headed, because it is seemingly from corner to corner of our viewing area that these thunderstorms are going to be rolling through over the next several hours. It includes lots of people moving southeast about 40 miles per hour, and that does include Tiffin, 345, so you have less than 10 minutes now. And I'd argue that those on the very western side of Sandusky and Seneca counties, that's where we're seeing a greater risk of that rotation. That's where that tornado warning cell rather, is starting to cross into kind of the trifecta region between Sandusky, Seneca, and Wood counties as well. But it's going to impact areas such as Norwalk. Yeah, of course. 341, you guys are going to be getting some thunderstorms at your direction, but this main pocket that we're watching, this one way down here, is going to be of concern. The one that is producing that rather strong rotation is where I'm circling, starting to cross into the very southern part of Sandusky County, the very northern part of Seneca County as well.
For those of you maybe just joining us, just turning on your TV or getting ready for 13 Action News at 4 o'clock, we are interrupting our regular programming right now because we have numerous severe weather warnings across the viewing area. And Aaron, if you could flip over real quick to our watches and warnings just to show everybody what's going on, and just in terms of what we have. A tornado warning is why we broke into our coverage, why we interrupted coverage, and they're in the red box, southern part of Wood County, northern part of Hancock County. Here for another, it'd be 8 minutes. We do have a tornado warning for radar indicated rotation. And that is not Findlay, that is not Bowling Green, sort of in between there, the southern part of Wood County, northern Hancock County, but in the orange, all the way from Henry County, Putnam County, through Hancock, Wood, Seneca, Sandusky, Erie, Huron counties. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for all of those locations, and those go until between 3:45, 4:15, even 4:30, just depending on the spot, because this line of storms is packing some strong winds. The winds with these storms are warned for up to 70 miles an hour. So in addition to the possibility of a quick spin-up tornado, damaging straight-line winds is a big concern. We've been talking about that over the past 24 hours as these storms move southeast, but just sort of we call it a sort of kitchen sink setup, everything but the kitchen sink. Winds, rain, hail, tornado, it's all possible with these storms as they continue moving southeast.
So new information coming in from National Weather Service in Cleveland, and this is good news. They're allowing the tornado warning to expire, and that's going to be allowed to expire when it's supposed to, 3:45. So we will be hopping off the air, hopefully, in the next 7 to 8 minutes or so as those severe thunderstorms, as those tornado warning cells continue to move. We will see if anything gets issued for the neighbors a little bit southeast of that cell. Regardless, this has a history of producing tornado warnings. You want to find your safe space. Of course, we are online giving you the first alert every step of the way. We do have several, and I mean several, severe thunderstorm warnings in the area, not just for that particular cell that we're watching with the rotation, but also for those out in Sandusky, Seneca counties, Erie,
And
Huron
I believe,
counties.
Aaron, we can actually see just ahead of the storm, this is what would be called the gust front, sort of leading out in front of the storms. This line right here, it may not look that crazy because it's just green, but this is likely the strong winds, also an outflow boundary, you could call it. This is where we could see those 60, 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So I just want to zoom in because if you're in parts of Seneca, Huron County right now, the storms are still a few minutes away. These winds are going to show up right as they show up. So south of Norwalk, New London, Willard, Tiffin, Scipio there, as well as Reed, Venice, Clarksfield, New London. The winds 60, 70 mile an hour straight line winds coming in from the northwest as these storms continue marching to the southeast. So yeah, you're not necessarily in a tornado warning, but you're in a dangerous thunderstorm situation as these continue moving your direction. So again, that little gust front at the leading edge of those storms could be winds to 70 miles per hour. That's what these severe thunderstorm warnings are for. They go to about 4:30. And again, that tornado warning that was issued for Wood County, Hancock County, that expires in 5 minutes. They said they're going to let it expire. Of course, we're going to have to continue to watch closely for any additional areas of rotation that try to develop.
Absolutely. So, I mean, besides that those severe thunderstorm warnings and the tornado warning, we are seeing some flood guidance as well. That's kind of what you see here in the green, so to speak. I don't know if you can pull that up there.
Yeah, so it's in the background here. I'll ask you to look closely, sort of that green outline, if you will. It's sort of just around Bowling Green. That's a flood advisory. It's more of a secondary concern, but yeah, it's something we're concerned about.
Goes to show how much rain is falling and in a very important spot of our viewing area too. Heavy rain plus strong rotation. You're not going to see the touchdown more than likely until it's incredibly close to you and when it's incredibly dangerous to you as well.
And they talk about 1 to 2 inches of rain already falling in these spots, potentially up to another inch or two. So yeah, I mean, with rainfall rates of 2, 3, 4 inches plus an hour, that's certainly something that could cause ponding of water on roadways, lead to localized flooding. So this is a multifaceted threat situation we have going on middle of this afternoon here as this line of storms continues to develop and track southeast at 40 miles per hour, unfortunately continuing to intensify as it does so. Now we loop this here, you can see how much lightning there is as this really gets going and as it continues to track southeast. So now it's really US 6 southward. That's our severe threat concern. I want to zoom out. Maybe some of you just tuning in now, getting ready to watch us on 13 Action News at 4 o'clock. Really in the Toledo metro area, nothing concerning right now. And frankly, our threat for severe weather is really now diminishing with these storms moving past, sort of zapping the energy out of the atmosphere. Could be a rumble of thunder, some downpours in southeast Michigan, even behind these storms. But it is now defiance towards south of Napoleon, south of Bowling Green, Fremont, Sandusky, and everybody south of that line. That's where these storms are developing. And even look back towards Fort Wayne, we do have this continuing to backbuild the line that direction. So whether you're in Paulding County, Allen County, Putnam, Wyandotte, any of our southern counties, you're going to get your shot of these storms to dive through the area over the next, I'd say, hour or two.
And I mean, from what we're seeing, they have not extended that tornado warning, but there are still some spots of rotation that could be a little concerning.
So even if they don't extend the tornado warning, we're still just behind the scenes going to continue to keep such a close eye on the potential for a quick spin up along the leading edge. So that area of rotation that we were watching closely in southeastern Wood County, it has weakened, so that's the good news, but maybe more of an area of broad rotation as it's now tracked across 23. It's tracking into the northwestern part of Seneca County there. So this is the area of rotation we're going to continue to watch. They've not extended the tornado warning. It has weakened, so that's the good news. That's why they haven't extended the tornado warning. Now this brighter green here just south of Fremont, that could just be a strong wind gust being picked up. The velocities, the winds that we use to look for couplets, that we use to look for rotation, they can detect microbursts, they can detect other strong wind features within the thunderstorms. And what this might be it would be 53 there, it just could be some strong wind gusts. That 60, 70 mile per hour wind potential we're talking about. Yeah, that's we're going to be worried about that here as well. But again, Fostoria, these areas near the tornado warning, just stay in your safe pace for a couple more minutes. And I'll be honest with you, if I was in the northwestern part of Seneca County right now with this area of rotation, it is weakening, but I'd sort of just hang out my safe pace just a few minutes, let this get by just in case. Better safe than sorry.
All right, and so with that, they've allowed a severe thunderstorm warning to drop off in Henry and Putnam counties. If we
Okay.
want to go ahead and give a good summary of how many warnings we see in the area,
Yeah.
just even outside of this area of concern, that pocket of rotation, okay, so there's a tornado warning well east of the area.
Yeah.
That is going to be the red that you see there on the screen. If you have family out that direction, by all means, let them know they are under a tornado warning. It's the very western side of Cleveland.
That would be towards Cleveland.
That
Though,
is
so
towards
that's
Cleveland.
outside the viewing area. It's a new tornado warning, not in our viewing area. Our focus continues to be on the severe thunderstorm warnings, really from especially I-75 eastward, but even off to the west, the storms are starting to bubble up, starting to intensify all the way to Fort Wayne. So Paulding, Ottawa, Lima, not necessarily out of the woods yet in terms of the potential for severe weather this afternoon. Still have a few more hours to go. By the time we get to, let's say, about 7 o'clock this evening, the storm should be moving out. Our severe threat should be coming to an end. So our southern counties just got to stay with it, got to stay aware for a few more hours, and then things will be calming down this evening. But here in Toledo, they haven't dropped the tornado watch yet. I don't think they will for a little bit longer, just in case they want to see how things develop over the next hour or two. But I would say from US 6 northward, our risk for severe weather is really decreasing now. And Aaron, they did just drop that tornado warning. So that is a piece of good news.
Absolutely.
I guess we're going to hop off the air in just a moment. We'll be back on 13 Action News at 4 o'clock. We're going to have more updates, more coverage of the storms as they continue to go on. But if our producers real quick could pull up that radar just one more time, just to show everybody the situation. We're just going to kind of give a lowdown in 30 seconds of what's happening. So these storms are moving southeast at about 40 miles per hour. So Findlay, Ottawa, Lima, Upper Sandusky, Tiffin, Norwalk, and all the areas in those counties. You just need to be ready for winds that could be damaging, 60, perhaps even 70 miles per hour, torrential rainfall that could cause localized flooding, hail, possibly up to an inch in diameter, and we can't rule out a quick spin-up tornado. So we're going to head off the air now. We'll join you again in 15 minutes. Aaron Ashley, myself, will be with you through the afternoon, and we will let you know if any more warnings are issued. So stay safe the rest of the day. See you in just a few minutes.
This